Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Ever feel like, you're living a life someone else picked out for you? Like, not really your own choices. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that pull between who you are and who you're supposed to be, right? It's a pretty universal struggle, I think.
Totally. And that's what really hooked me about Destined to Fall by SimoneNicole. It's contemporary romance, but way deeper than that. We're talking identity, vulnerability, all that good stuff. Amazon links in the description, by the way. So if you're into stories that make you think and feel, hit that like button and subscribe because we're diving deep today.
Definitely. These kinds of stories, they kind of hold a mirror up to us, don't they? Make you think about your own choices, your own masks, all that.
Exactly. Our mission today is to unpack Vivienne. This woman is complicated. We're going to look at her choices, especially with Jeremy, and see how her relationship with him kind of pushes her to figure herself out. We've got excerpts from all over the book, so we're getting the whole picture here. Okay, so first impression of Vivienne. She puts on a pretty specific front.
Oh, yeah, totally. And it's not just an act either. You can tell it comes from somewhere deep, like her history, her need to prove herself, all that.
Absolutely. She talks about her expensive taste right from the start. But it's not just about the stuff, right? It's about being free from her parents, their money, their judgment. She even thinks about how everything in her apartment, they got it themselves, and how much she loves that her mother had nothing to do with it. That's a pretty strong
Yeah,
statement.
it's huge. Shows how much those early family dynamics, how much they can mess you up, make you crave independence, define your worth in all these unexpected ways. For Vivienne, success isn't just about the money. It's about showing everyone that she did it on her own.
And that need to fix things, to make all our problems disappear, it leads her to a pretty unconventional choice, right? She becomes a high-class escort, not your typical career path.
No, definitely not. But it's interesting, isn't it? It's like in a world where she felt powerless, this gives her control over her finances, her life, her body even. It's like a business decision, a way to be totally self-sufficient, even if it's not exactly what society expects.
Totally. And we see that practicality in how she deals with Anthony, right? It's a long-term thing they've got going, very transactional. She describes him as filthy in more ways than one rich Italian-born businessman. Kind of a brutal description, do you think?
Yeah, there's no sugarcoating there, is it? It means I think she's seen it all, maybe gotten a little cynical about the whole scene. She knows the game, she knows the players, and she's not under any illusions.
Then boom, enter Jeremy. Random elevator encounter. Talk about awkward, starting with the unwanted touch-out. But her comebacks are gold. Usually at least a drink first. I don't make a habit of handing out free passes. She doesn't miss a beat.
She's sharp, that's for sure. Quick wit, like a defense mechanism, a way to handle a situation that could have been really intimidating. And it shows she's not going to be pushed around. She sets boundaries even when she's caught off guard.
So true. But then she agrees to a date with him, which is wild, right? This everyday I work in an office Joe kind of guy. So different from her usual scene, and you can see the wheels turning. Shit, Anthony. I forgot he extended our agreement. I don't relish the thought of having to rearrange. He won't be pleased. She's got a system, and Jeremy is messing it up.
He's a total wrench in the works. But it's fascinating, right? Because he represents something unpredictable, something outside her carefully constructed life. And her hesitation, it shows how much she values that structure, even if it means missing out on something, well, something real, maybe.
It's so true. And even with Jeremy, she doesn't let go of the reins completely. Like, remember when she tells him, you got one freebie with the grow page earlier. Don't push your luck, buddy. Playful, but firm. It's like even as she's opening up, she's still in control.
It shows her strength, I think. She's not going to be swept off her feet, not completely. She's defining the terms, dating the pace, even as she explores this new connection.
As they get to know each other, their differences are like super obvious. Vivienne's open about her lifestyle, how she doesn't play by the rules, how she doesn't believe in delaying gratification. It's pretty refreshing, actually.
It is. It's like she owns her desires, doesn't apologize for them. And it makes you wonder how much of that is just her personality and how much is a reaction to the world she's chosen, where everything's so upfront, so transactional.
Right. And then you've got Jeremy. At first, he seems more reserved. Turns out he's celibate, which throws a whole other dynamic into the mix. Remember that part where they talk about the thrill of the chase versus just going for it? Their views on, intimacy and connection, they're pretty different.
That difference, it's huge. It's like a fundamental clash of perspectives. And you can see how it creates tension, but also like a real opportunity for them to learn from each other, to grow. It makes you wonder, can they bridge that gap? Can they find common ground, even with such different approaches to relationships?
The charity auto scene is where things get really interesting. Antony's possessiveness is like on full display, and then Jeremy jumps in, bidding on that painting, and the tension is palpable. It's like a battle for her attention right there in the open.
Totally. It's like a visual representation of their rivalry, of the choices Vivienne's facing. Anthony's clinging to the status quo, to what he thinks he owns, while Jeremy's stepping up, challenging that, showing he's invested. And the painting itself, it becomes a symbol, almost. A symbol of Vivienne's agency, her right to choose.
And their banter throughout the whole thing, the back and forth about a date, the quick fuck versus something more, they're constantly pushing each other's buttons, and it's electric.
It's like a way to flirt without actually flirting, to test the waters, to see how far they can push each other. And it shows they're both smart, quick-witted, capable of going beyond the surface level. It's like a mental sparring match that's also, like, super sexy.
Then you get the moments of pure vulnerability, like when Jeremy touches her and she gets chills, or when she catches herself wanting to hear him laugh again. It's like all her defenses are cracking.
Those moments, they're so powerful. It's like genuine connection. It cuts through all the BS, all the walls we put up. Her reactions, they're involuntary, visceral. It shows that despite her best efforts, Jeremy's getting to her, affecting her on a level she didn't expect.
Totally. And then there's the whole Japanese thing. Like, out of nowhere, Jeremy drops this knowledge bomb, and it totally throws her. It's these little surprises that make their connection so compelling, you know?
Absolutely. It's like those unexpected commonalities, they make you see someone in a whole new light. You realize there's more to them that meets the eye, and it just makes them more interesting, more intriguing. And for Vivienne, who's used to a certain type of guy, Jeremy's a complete mystery in a lot of ways.
Talk about a mystery. The plot twist when she finds out Jeremy's father is one of her clients. I mean, come on, that's got to throw a wrench in things.
That's an understatement. It's a bombshell, really. Suddenly, it's not just about her and Jeremy. It's about this whole web of relationships, potential consequences. It forces her to confront the reality of her situation, how her two worlds have collided in this messy, complicated way.
Her reaction is priceless. Pure shock. It's like her whole carefully constructed life just imploded. And you see the internal struggle, right? How she feels about Jeremy versus the life she's built. It's a huge dilemma.
It is, and it's the point where she can't keep things separate anymore. The personal and the professional are tangled up, and she has to make a choice. And it's not an easy choice. It's about priorities, about consequences, about who she wants to be.
This is where we get a deeper look into her relationship with her parents, too. It's clear that her career choice isn't just about money. It's about control, about rebelling against their expectations, proving she can do it on her own terms.
Yeah, that need for independence, it runs deep. It's rooted in her past, in those strained family dynamics. And it explains a lot about why she's hesitant, why she struggles with vulnerability and commitment. With Jeremy, she's risking losing that control, opening herself up to being hurt. And that's terrifying for someone who's spent her life protecting herself.
The way they connect, it's fascinating. They start with the banter, the teasing, but then they move into these deeper conversations, sharing about past relationships, hurts, insecurities. It's like they're building real intimacy step by step.
Those conversations, they're crucial. It's about letting someone see you, the good and the bad, the messy parts. It's about building trust, understanding, and that's what sets their connection apart. It's not just physical, it's emotional, and that's what makes it so powerful.
Then Jeremy drops another bombshell. He's celibate. I mean, how often do you hear that? No wonder Vivienne's floored. Talk about a curveball.
Right, it throws everything she thought she knew about relationships out the window. It challenges her assumptions about intimacy, about what it means to connect with someone, and it forces her to confront her own desires, to ask herself, what does she really want from this relationship?
It's like she's constantly having to reevaluate everything. And we have to remember her past, right? All the experiences that have shaped her, the walls she's built up to protect herself. It makes you realize letting go, being vulnerable with Jeremy, it's a huge leap of faith for her.
Absolutely. Trusting someone means giving up control, letting them see your weak spots, and that's scary for anyone, especially someone who's been hurt before. For Vivienne, it's a constant battle between that ingrained need for independence and the pull of her feelings for Jeremy. It's like her heart saying yes, but her head screaming, be careful.
And it's not just the big moments that matter, right? It's the little things too, like running together, taking that bollocks class. It's those everyday moments that build a sense of normalcy, of shared experience, that solidify their connection.
Exactly. They're seeing each other outside the context of their, well, unusual circumstances. It's like they're building a foundation of friendship, of comfort, and that's just as important as the passion, maybe even more so in the long run.
You can't ignore the elephant in the room, though, right? Her job, her feelings for Jeremy, it's a huge internal conflict. It makes you think about how we juggle different parts of ourselves, especially when they seem contradictory.
Totally. It's like she's wrestling with who she is, who she wants to be. Can she be both Vivienne, the successful escort, and Vivienne, the woman falling for this guy who's so different from anyone she's ever known? It's a question of identity, of reconciling your past with your present. And it's something a lot of people can relate to, I think.
And then, boom, the climax. She tells him she loves him, and he says it back. It's like a dam breaking, this huge release of emotion.
It's a pivotal moment, for sure. It's like all the walls come crashing down, and they're finally being honest with each other, with themselves. Her vulnerability, his commitment, it's a turning point, a step towards something real, something lasting.
And her decision to walk away from her escort work, that's huge. Laura's helping her take down the website, cancel bookings. It's like she's closing a chapter, starting fresh.
It's a bold move, a statement. It shows that her priorities have shifted. Jeremy, her own happiness, her own growth, it's all more important now than the life she built, the independence she fought for. It's like she's choosing love over security, vulnerability over control, and that's incredibly powerful.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, I think Vivienne's journey is a reminder that we're all constantly evolving. Our identities aren't fixed, and sometimes the most unexpected connections can push us to grow, to change in ways we never imagined.
Definitely. Her relationship with Jeremy, it's a catalyst. It challenges her assumptions, makes her confront her deepest fears, and ultimately leads her to a place of self-acceptance and love. It's a powerful reminder that we're all capable of change, of finding happiness in the most unexpected places.
It makes you think, right? Have there been times in your own life where someone, maybe someone you didn't expect, made you question everything, made you see yourself differently? What did you learn from those experiences?
That's a great question, and it makes me wonder, can we ever truly know ourselves without being vulnerable with another person? Can love really be the key to unlocking our true potential, to embracing who we are, flaws and all?
Those are some deep thoughts to ponder. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Destined to Fall. We hope you enjoyed it.
It's been a fascinating conversation. Vivienne and Jeremy's story, it's a testament to the power of human connection, to the courage it takes to be truly seen, to embrace vulnerability and love.
Tell us in the comments what resonated with you. What was your favorite moment? What surprised you? We love hearing your thoughts. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into stories that make you think and feel. We'll see you next time.